Mary, Mary. Good evening. Yo, 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 right back at you. I'm going to take a second to tweet this thing out, and we're going to read some urban exploration stories. It's here. It's finally here. Man, oh man, 2 streams in 1 week. This is crazy. Am I crazy? Hopefully this will be a regular thing going forward. We'll see. Mary says, I might be the only one in attendance, but we'll see. Yeah, for sure, we'll see. And even if you are, man, it's all good. MCT says, I am here. What's up, MCT? Welcome in. I'm just going to take a second to finish tweeting this out, and we're going to read some urban exploration stories, or Urbex stories if you're one of the cool kids. Hey, Dee Dee. Oh, now we're partying. Okay. We got some good homies in the chat. All right, let's see. I'm going to read the stories in backwards order today. Because why not? Because why not? That means the first one is called The Abandoned House. Yes, The Abandoned House. Where did it go? There it is. This one's not too long, but it's got some meat to it. So let me start up my recording junk. All right. Chickadee check, test. All right, we're doing it. All right. This is the first story of the night. It's called The Abandoned House. One sunny day in the middle of spring, 3 of us were bored and decided to go exploring. We headed down an old canyon road that's pretty popular amongst us locals, and once we parked, we started walking along a relatively flat old dirt road overgrown by the long green grass. There were lots of ladybugs, too. It was awesome. There must have been millions of them, all flying towards us as we were just walking along. As we were walking, we noticed an old abandoned house just a little ways off the path, surrounded and covered by oak trees. The small, rectangle, dilapidated house had one of the The small, rectangle, dilapidated house had one of those old wood shingled roofs, featuring much of the same for the siding. The house looked to be from the 20s or 30s era, with an old outhouse in the back. When we stepped up the 2 or 3 rotten steps into the house, we were greeted by an old sofa and armchair across from a really cool brick fireplace. In the bedrooms, we found old metal bed frames and mattress springs and stuff like that. The kitchen still had its old cabinetry with its doors hanging off the rusted hinges, too. We split up to go explore the house and to take pics and to just generally poke around a little bit more. All of a sudden, we heard a loud thump that seemed to come from everywhere all at once. Oh, Danny's here too. What's up, Danny? She says, hi, with like 4 eyes. Glad you can make it. We're reading Urbex stories, or urban exploration stories. Here we go. I got 5 of them tonight, so it's not going to be a massive stream, I don't think, but we're going to cruise through these and have some fun, man. MCT says she's just lurking because she's making test papers. Always busy at work, MCT. I appreciate you. We all hurried out of the house at the same time and met up outside. As we all gathered outside, we shared the look of, what the frick? We sat outside and chilled just for a little while, calming down and chatting. It was a beautiful day out, 70s, with chirping birds and chattering insects. As we sat in the overgrown, wispy grass amongst the green lupins, we decided that we were idiots and we just heard a tree branch hit the house or something. So we headed back inside to explore a little more, and I ended up sitting by myself in one of the condemned bedrooms. I decided to relax and just take a minute to chill. I was leaning back against the wall opposite an old rusted-out mattress and frame with my eyes closed, just zoning out. But then, all of a sudden, there were 3 more loud thumps. They hit so hard, I felt it in my back and was against the wall. Oh. They hit so hard, I felt it in my back that was against the wall. Dazed, I sat up and I didn't know what to do until I heard my 2 friends talking excitedly from outside. I darted out of the dilapidated front door towards my friends. As I finally got to them... That sounded weird. As I finally got to them, we all just stared at each other with even more confusion this time. As I absent-mindedly rubbed the spot on my back that was against the wall, As I absent-mindedly rubbed the spot on my back that was against the wall, I exclaimed again, "What the frick? How the heck should we know?" Why did I say it that way? Alright, let me do that again. How the heck should we know what's going on? One of my friends asked. Like we said, it's just a freaking tree branch or something. So we all sat down, feeling defeated by this spooky old house, but yet, once again, we all ended up heading back inside so our friend could finish taking some pictures. My friend and I just hung out in the living room and with the old dilapidated brick fireplace. We checked it out to see if maybe we could find an old stash spot behind one of the bricks or something. And we were busy with this for a while until we both looked up and realized that it was starting to get dark outside. We looked at each other and we were all like, what happened to our buddy? So we start calling out for him and going room to room looking for him. We finally found him sitting outside, sitting in what was once a flower garden, still sprinkled with daffodils here and there, amongst the tall grass. Dude, didn't you hear us calling you? You're only like 50 feet away from the house. He said, No, I was actually out here calling for you guys. We all just thought it was weird that we didn't hear each other. After that, we all decided to start walking the 1.5 miles. Danny says, oh, sorry, I didn't know you were live. I was over here messaging you about logo designs." I know, dude. I know. I got the last couple of them in this. I was about to hit like the go live button and I forgot to write you back. I'm sorry. We still cool though? MCT says, "I have to bother Danny and Derek for a collab again soon." Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You must bother us for collabs. Alright, where did I leave off? After that, we all decided to start walking the 1.5 miles back to the car. Just as we're all standing up and gathering our stuff to leave, we all hear it again at once. We hear the distorted sound of one of the old rotary telephones ringing. Huh? Oh, I added a word in there that just changed everything. I'll do that again. Just as we were all standing up and gathering our stuff to leave, we all hear this at the same time. We hear the distorted sound of one of those old rotary telephones ringing. It sounded like it was coming from the house where the living room would be. We all stood there, frozen in place, looking at each other with wide eyes. Naturally, my friend that had been taking the pictures was all... But I got the mush mouth, man. Am I just not warmed up enough, dude? It's all good. I'll get there. Unique, New York. Naturally, my friend that had been taking all the pictures was all, "Shoot, I must have left my camera inside the old house." After a couple minutes of arguing over who was going to go get it, we all just decided to go back in together. When we were back inside, we realized it was getting pretty dark inside too, so we told him to hurry up. I stayed back in the forlorn living room when... I stayed back in the forlorn living room while they all went off looking for the camera. As I was standing there waiting for them, I thought I heard a soft rustling sound coming from the ancient brick fireplace just behind me. But when I turned to look, there was nothing there, so I just figured it was maybe settling or there was a critter or something. Just as I turned back around to walk towards where my friends were, a freaking brick from the fireplace went smashing into the wall right in front of me. Of course, I screamed at the top of my lungs and went running outside, screaming to my friends to get the hell out of there. When my two friends finally came outside, they looked at me confused and asked, "What did you like? Did you... Oh, what? What, did you like get a spider on you or something?" When my two friends finally came outside, they looked at me confused and asked, "What, did you like get a spider on you or something?" I relayed to them what had happened, but they didn't fully believe me at first. When I was practically crying, trying to convince them, they finally relented. We all agreed that that old house for sure felt very creepy. So we all three quietly began making our way back to the old dirt road and out of there. On our way out, Cool. On our way out, my backpack strap came loose, and as I took it off to set it down to fix it, I happened to glance up and back toward the old house, and I saw what looked to be a dim, flickering light that appeared to be a candlelight in the main living room window that was facing us. I excitedly told my friends to look, and they saw it too. In the end, back at the car, we all just figured that maybe it was a homeless person living there or something. But then again, I know I was completely alone in that living room. There was nowhere for anyone to hide by that fireplace. And what about the distorted sound of that old telephone ringing? All right, that's story number one, babies. These are allegedly true urban exploration stories. Man. We got people sliding in the DMs in the chat. It's a good time. The abandoned house. All right, that's story number one, dude. That'll be the last one in the video. I'm reading them out of order. All right, this next one. What is it called? What's it called? It's from True Scary Stories. Unseen Terror in the Local Woods. Uh-oh. That sounds terrifying. This one has some pretty good comments and some good back and forth in the thread here, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. Oh, the chat just got very dark. The Duchess of Darkness is here. Hey, Duchess, we're reading allegedly true urban exploration stories. There's 5 on the menu tonight, and we just finished the first one. Here's number 2. In high school, me and my friends knew this guy named Gene. Oh, all right, hold on. Grammar. I and my friends knew this guy named Gene. Okay, got it. Cool. My friends and I knew this guy named Gene. Cool. There we go. We'll get there. In high school, my friends and I knew this guy named Gene. For whatever reason, Gene had a habit of telling extremely tall tales centered on himself, just trying to make himself look cooler. The most repeated one was his claim that in a nearby ravine, a coven, yeah. The most repeated one was his claim that in a nearby ravine, a coven of druids practiced and were schooling him in ancient magic. He always played them straight, as if they were unquestionably true. He never had any evidence, and they were always said in a matter-of-fact way, as though they didn't need evidence because they weren't the slightest bit unbelievable. Yeah, I'm a druid. A real one, so? Like that. While taking, okay. While taking a walk one night, I happened upon a construction site. Being heavily into urban exploration, I explored the heck out of that site, and upon leaving, I tipped their porta potty. I was still a bit immature, and I don't know, I thought it was funny. After that, whenever I found one, well, over it went. One day, I told some friends about it, and Gene, ever the showman, chimed in with, "Oh, that's nothing. I like to burn them down." Arson was most assuredly not our thing, and we knew Gene was full of bull, so we were surprised when, calling his bluff, he offered to prove it by showing us the fruits of his labors. I feel all mush-mouthy, dude. Maybe I'm actually tired. I bet I am. I bet that's what it is. I bet I'm tired. And I bet I'm not speaking, properly. I do want to give myself a little pat on the back for nailing dilapidated all 3 times that it appeared in the first story. I don't give myself kudos a whole lot, but dude, dilapidated, nailed it all 3 times. I messed up a lot during the rest of the story, but man, when that word came around, owned it. All right. 5 of us piled into the car, and only one of it. What the fuck is he saying? Only one of us had one. Okay, cool. 5 of us piled into the car, only one of us had a car, and followed Gene's directions. The site was in a oh man, rural. I'll get it, dudes. Rural. The site was in a rural area with lots of big hills and dense forest, common in the Pacific Northwest. At a sharp elbow on a 2-lane road was a gravel turnoff, leading maybe 100 feet into the woods to a gravel parking lot. This was the starting point for a number of hiking trails. There were no lights there, and the street light out on the road didn't show much through the trees. There weren't any other cars there. One of the trails began past a gate that was designed to keep off-roaders off the trails, and it took a sharp left from the back of the parking lot. The porta potty had been about 30 feet or so up the trail, and on a later visit by day, we found out that Gene really did turn it into a puddle of blue goo. That night, we didn't get there. Pacific Northwest. I know at least one person in the chat is from there. MCT says, yeah, I would mess up that word and just end up removing it from the story. I have to sometimes, man. I'm having a hard time like thinking of like any exact words that I just straight up do not say or take a long time, but I'm having a hard time. Girlfriend gives me a hard time because it's that Earl sound. It hit me a second ago when I had to say rural. I don't know what it is. My mouth is just not shaped to say that word easily, I guess. Dork. Yeah, MCT. She says, bruh, reading is hard. How am I a narrator? She says, especially the word comfortable. Oh, you mean comfortable? Mary says, I live in Oregon, but I'm from California. I got you. Very cool. I think one day you'll guess where I'm from. You only have 52 chances. Let's finish this story. I guess this dude like lies about himself a whole lot, but one of the lies was actually true. He burns down porta potties for some reason. All right, let's get to the bottom of this. We had a couple of flashlights, and we all started up the trail as a group. As far as I can recall, we never heard any noises like... Oh, what the fuck? We never heard any noises. As far as I can recall, we never heard any noises, animal or human. We got about halfway to the spot, and then all of us stopped walking. Somebody whispered, "Do you feel that?" And we all bolted down the trail. Distracted. There we go. And we all bolted down the trail, piled into the car, and got the hell out of there. Once on the road, we compared thoughts. I felt what everyone else did, the deepest, most intense raw fear that I've ever felt. It was like we suddenly faced impending death. It clearly indicated I need to leave right this instant. I can only guess there might have been, I don't know, a cougar or something, as they've been known to attack hikers, but I was doing okay. I can only guess there might have been a cougar or something, as they've been known to attack hikers, but we didn't see or hear anything. I've read that if a little voice in your head tells you to do something, it's usually a good idea to listen. Oh, my Crocs are so squeaky. And so was my voice. All right. Sorry, dudes. I've read that if a little voice in your head tells you to do something, it's usually a good idea to listen. Part of me wonders if Gene's porta potty fire pissed off some forest spirit or something. I've been back to that trailhead a few times during the day to show friends where this happened. I've been back to that trailhead a few times during the day to show friends where this happened. I've also brought a friend who's sensitive, as they say, but they didn't pick up any vibes. Oh, that's the end of the story. All right, cool. I will end it differently. I've also brought a friend who's sensitive, as they say, but they didn't pick up any vibes. It's the most nerdiest voiceover voice actor thing to like say the same line 2 or 3 times and be like, they didn't pick up any vibes. They didn't pick up any vibes. They didn't pick up any vibes. It's so stupid. Like what? Like when I think about this hobby and how silly it is, it just makes me laugh, dude. Laughing at myself, of course. Oh, hold up. Mary says, can we change the screen, Derek, to show that it's not... Yeah, I guess so, dude. I don't know, man. Yeah. That's something I should have done 20 minutes ago. Thank you, Mary. Yeah, there we go. Here, yeah, for officially, we are not starting soon. We're in it, man. 2 stories in, and we're officially begun. Thanks, Mary. I'm silly sometimes and I forget. Alright, this next one's called When My Dad and I Accidentally Found a Dungeon in Our Basement, or something like that. Unseen. The stories are going to get better the further we go. MCT, they didn't pick up any vibes. I wish I was good at impressions. I would do a whole ass story as a Christopher Walken impersonation. If I can do any decent impersonation at all, I'd do it, man. That is just not a talent that I have. If you can do like even a mid-level Bill Cosby impersonation, you are my friend, and I am and I am jealous of you. All right. Story number 3, When My Dad and I, from True Scary Stories. The actual title is called When My Dad and I Found a Possible Dungeon Under the Desert? What? Cool. I told you, man, these stories are going to get better as we get on. I was 15, living in the Mojave Desert in Southern California. I still feel mushy, dude. What the fuck? Excuse me. What the frick? I've made it a point to, like, if there's ever like an F-bomb in a story, it just goes to frick, because I did a creepypasta that featured like a bunch of my favorite narrators and friends, and Joel Let's Read was one of the characters too, and he had an F-bomb in one of his lines, but I told him, oh wait a second, he either had an F-bomb and I told him to censor it and he just chose the word frick, or Blake, the writer of the story, actually wrote the word frick instead of fudge. I don't remember which one, but it kind of became a meme, like, for a little bit. I was like, oh, I'm so frickin' scared, man. So now, just as a little inside joke to myself, every F-bomb's just been turned into a frick bomb. Did we start story 3 yet? We're doing it again. After I get some tea in me. I was 15, living in the Mojave Desert in Southern California during the 90s. Lots of wide open space and not many people. One weekend, my dad and I took out our dirt bikes via trailer to the outskirts of a very small town called Barstow. It's midsummer, so not a lot of people are out riding, which is typically a common sight. The heat wave may have had something to do with it. After unloading the bikes, we decided to trek for a few hours, keeping track of landmarks and marking trails with red cloth under rocks to find our way back. After some time of riding and refuel breaks, we crest a hill and see a dilapidated cabin. There are many burps. There are many lone buildings in the Mojave, but rarely are they cabins. This place just felt odd right off the bat. So, being the intelligent people we were, we decided to check it out. We opened the unlocked front door while its knob barely hung on. It's a single room, no bigger than a studio apartment, but it's obvious people have been staying there. There were candy wrappers and beer cans everywhere with recent dates. A lone bucket outside reeked of heat cooked. Okay, got it. A lone bucket outside reeked of heat-cooked human leavings. There was no furniture, but a single wall-mounted bench, Okay, cool. Put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. There was no furniture, but a single wall-mounted bench and a fireplace. The ceiling had lots of people carving names, messages, and the typical hearts with a date and two people's names. I decided to sit on the bench. When I sat, I tucked my feet under the bench and put my toes on their tips onto the floor. When I did this, I felt the floor move. I look at the floor, which is now not attached to the rest of the rotted wood floor, and remove the cutout piece. It's about a 2-foot square. I called for my dad, and he looks at the hole with the flashlight from his bike. It goes down about 7 feet and back far enough for us not to see the end. The Darkest Hour says, "Oh man, I needed this. Thank you, Derek." That's what I'm here for, man. This is what I'm here for. You know what, dude? I'll be honest with you guys. I love streaming. But like 32% of the time, I'm always like, oh shit, I just lost my fucking story. Like, do I want to stream? And then when I do, I'm always stoked that I did, man, because it's such a fun time. Because I could, like, easily not stream, you know what I mean? But like, it's usually so much fun when I do. So anyways, it's almost like not wanting to go to the gym. But then after you go, you're like, oh my God, I'm so glad I went. I feel so much better now. It's like that. I accidentally closed my my story, so I gotta go reopen it and find where I left off. Here we go. This is when my dad shows his parental colors. He looks at me and says, "Well, I'm too fat to check it out. You're gonna need to see what's down there." I took this as a challenge, so I climbed down. It's a hallway carved out of the desert bedrock that goes back about 15 feet. I walk along it until it opens. I walk this lonely desert cave thing. I walk along until it opens up into a larger circular room. The room is empty, but still pretty big. I walk around and I stub my toe. I look down and I see a metal rod fixed into the bedrock with a thick chain and welded on. I look down and I see a metal rod fixed into the bedrock with a thick chain end welded on. I look at the walls. The walls had this what? I look at the walls. The walls. All right, cool. There's dramatic effects going on. I look at the walls and they had these scratch marks from fingernails, lots of them. The more I looked, the more I see that there are bits of fingernails actually still in the rock. My eyes water and my heart starts to race. I'm legit freaking out here. I spider monkey right out of the entrance and tell my dad everything while trying not to cry. He looks worried. We get on the bikes and get into high gear. Following those red flags we left as landmarks was the most... I could do that better. Following those red flags... Oh, the fuck, they're rags, dude. They're not flags. Come on, Derek, get it together. Following those red rags we left as landmarks was the most stressful time I can ever remember having. We get to the truck, load up, and we book it home. Dad hid the truck in the garage for a few days after that, but oh, what the fuck? To be sure. Okay, cool. There's like 2 more sentences left in the story, and I'm gonna nail it. Dad hid the truck in the garage for a few days after that to be sure no one recognized it in case we were followed. We never went back, and I don't intend to. We did report it to the police, but never heard anything about it afterward. Whoa, cool. So dude and his dad were riding their bikes in the desert, found a cabin that had a dungeon underneath, man. Ugh. Ugh. Did I mention ugh? Ah, nice. MCT is so cool. Thank you. Alright, where were we? That was story 3, man. And I'm telling you, they're gonna get good. 2 more. 2 more allegedly true urban exploration stories. Good night, Danny. What's the next one? Late night exploring. Oh, this is a ghost story. Oh, snap. Late night exploring gone wrong. Oh, no. Oh, no. All right. My friend and I had decided one summer night to go to this place called the Slaughterhouse. Where I grew up, there was a lot of urban legends about this place and the road it was on, which was Empire Mine Road. The road was located in the Bay Area of California, and the road was shut down after many accidents had happened and it was deemed unsafe. Although it was still open as a walkable trail, well, we decided to go alone. No, that could have been better. We are professionals on this channel, and we're going to deliver the lines correctly. Okay. The road was located in the Bay Area of California, and the road was shut down after many accidents had happened and it was deemed unsafe, although it was still open as a walkable trail. Well, we had decided to go alone. And I know 2 youngish girls at night at an abandoned place. Not the smartest. Anyways, in the past, we had gone in a group of 4 or 5 people and always found other explorers there, so we didn't think much of it, and we felt pretty safe. I had brought a film camera with me, hoping to capture something possibly otherworldly on film to serve as evidence, and I also brought my pocket knife just in case there was a need. Okay. Holy run-on sentence, dude. Alright, let me catch my breath. I also brought my pocket knife, just in case there was a need and for peace of mind, because homeless people sometimes hung out down there and were always spreading rumors of satanic rituals, although I knew the ritual rumor was most likely BS. We started the 20-minute walk to the slaughterhouse itself, and this time it felt really different. About a minute or 2 into the walk, I felt heavy with dread and fear, but I didn't want to say anything and creep out my friend or seem like I was chickening out. We made it up the final turn to a straightaway where it sounded like we were next to a freeway, but at this point we were at least a mile off from the nearest road. The loud sounds of cars and... oh, what the hell? The loud sounds of cars and car doors closing was supposedly... The loud sounds of cars and car doors closing was supposedly... Okay. Cool. I figured out this sentence. That's a good sentence. Took me a second, but I figured it out. The loud sounds of cars and car doors closing were supposedly the remains of all the accidents that happened along that road, but I wasn't so sure. I just figured sounds were carried with the wind from the faraway free roads and... Free roads? Come on. I just figured sounds were being carried with the wind from faraway freeways and roads. We made it down the final stretch and we hopped the fence and we were on the property. The place was very different from the last time. It looked as if it had been turned down and the Alright. Hey! We're gonna do it. Let me check this chat. What time? MCT's probably asking Amanda what time it is where she is, and I'm gonna guess midnight. Is it midnight 19 where you are? Or is it 10? Oh my gosh, so many options. All right. Where were we? The place was very different from the last time. It looked as if it had been burned, and the Beeling... Oh, what the fuck, dude? The Beelings... The place was very different from the last time. It looked as if it had been burned, and the buildings were blocked off by rubble, so there wasn't really much to do. I walked to buildings I had photographed at a previous visit for comparison, and began joking to my friend as I started feeling a bit more comfortable. I don't remember what I was exactly doing, but I turned my back on the building. My friend stared at me and dead seriously was like, "Come here now." And I walked over. I said, "What's the matter?" Apparently, she had seen a dark figure with red eyes behind me. I didn't personally see it, so I don't know if it was to scare me or not, but as I stepped towards my friend, I saw a dark truck traveling the road that we had just walked on. This was really weird because the road was gated off, and we parked in front of the gate, which meant no one can come through without actually moving our car. And our car hadn't been moved, so it would be nearly impossible for a car to get through the gate. The truck was dark and barely visible with no lights on, and it didn't make any sound like road or engine noise at all. This dark truck pulled up to the gate that we had hopped, and we heard yelling to "Get off my property." We couldn't see anyone in the truck, and it was barely lit up, like I said. As soon as it was there, it was gone, and with no sound either. Neither of us saw a gun, but Neither of us saw a gun, but we both swore that he had one. It was like, let's get out before whoever or whatever comes back. I nearly ran the mile back, and I'm not somebody to run. Once we hit the final stretch, I could see what looked like. You know what? Let me just take a break for a second, man. The Darkest Hour says, "Today sucked, but happy to be here and happy to get a chance at another day tomorrow." That's a good-ass attitude. Good on you, AJ. I like your attitude, Missy. You ever just like find yourself complaining about things and then you stop yourself and you're like, wait a second, I sound silly. I'm going to stop this right now because complaining doesn't do any good, right? Nobody wants to hear somebody complain. Plus, dude, if you're just like grateful for all the good shit that happens to you, even if you have to like remind yourself, I think your life changes for the better. AJ says, "I just need to hear some spooky stories and pet these cats." Cool. All right, well, let me do one of those things. This story's almost over, and I'm going to stop messing up now, I promise. Once we hit the final stretch, I could see what looked like police lights. We told each other to just remain calm and we'd be fine. Once we got there, the police greeted us politely and we returned the politeness, hoping to score some points. They had said that they received a jumbled up call that was very odd, but they caught us. But what they caught. What? Huh? They said that they received a jumbled up call that was very odd, but what they caught. Okay, cool, got it. Boom. They said that they had received a jumbled up call that was very odd, but what they caught was that there were people on the road. They seemed to be confused by the call as we were. My friend had said we were just walking the road to see the place at night and never actually hopped the fence, and thank God they believed it. After a few insulting remarks of us being two females on a road at night, we were on our way. We stopped at a well-lit gas station to catch our breath and agreed we'd never do that again. I no longer live near this area, but after that I swore I'd never go back, certainly not at night. I still think about this night and it perplexes me Okay, cool. Here we go, dudes. I need a spirit bomb on this one. I still think about this night, and everything that happened perplexes me. I told myself that it was just the owner, but it doesn't make sense how they could have gotten through our car and that gate, and the confusion that... Boom. It just doesn't make sense how they could have gotten through our car and that gate, and the confusion that the police had as well. I don't know, man. In addition, many of the photos I took turned up pitch black, even though I had flashlights and my flash on. I had a few develop and looked normal, but I just chalked it up to being bad film. But the same thing happened with the pictures I took on my phone as well. Overall, this experience puzzled me. Pew. We have made it to story number 5, the finale of the evening. Brenda. Hey, Brenda. Hope you're doing well. All right, we are reading, in case you're just joining, we are reading allegedly true urban exploration stories, or urbex. If you're a cool kid like me, as I say in my orange Crocs. This next one's probably crazy. What's it called? Could have been killed by MS-13 or something. Let me go find it. T2E says, I don't think anyone really knows how hard it can be being a narrator. I'm not going to pretend like this is hard, like it's fun. But it is extremely silly how often you mess up sometimes. Especially when you don't read the stories beforehand and you just go in cold, which I don't know if you knew or not, but most narrators that I've spoken to at least do just as the default, you know what I mean, just for the sake of time and other junk. T2E says, my brother is a pretty well-known YouTuber. Nice, man. I hope he's having a good month. And if you feel like sharing who he is, I won't stop you. That's cool. Maybe one day we'll all be well-known YouTubers. All right. So this next story is just a brick wall of text, and I'm going to mess up a lot. So be cool. Give me a sec to get some tea in me. T2E says, when he does the voiceovers, he locks me out of the house. Oh, for sure. Yeah, dude. Gotta be super quiet, which is one of the reasons I have 2 small children, and it's impossible to record anything while they're awake. Even if they're on the other side of the house, it still feels like they're just throwing TVs down the stairs, dude. It's just ridiculous. So the only time I record is at this time of day because the whole family's asleep and I can come down to the recording space and just do my thing, man. So I get it. But you know what, T2E, that's an excuse for you to go get some good food, man. All right, this is the last story of the night. It's called Could Have Been Killed by MS-13 Street Gang. All right, so check this out. This was just a few weeks ago. Me and my friend took up the hobby of exploring abandoned buildings and urban exploring in our free time because we just found it to be fun and interesting. We're from Long Island, New York, where MS-13, the deadliest street gang in America, mainly operates out of some of the towns here. I was browsing around the internet for nearby places to explore for fun when I came around to the Pilgrim State Psychiatric Center in Brentwood, New York. We didn't put much thought into it, and we just went. We parked in a parking lot from a good distance and started to walk through the woods to get there. I had done this before with other places and had never had this strange feeling before. Just the walk over, I felt uneasy like I never have before. Excuse me, burpee. There was trash everywhere and dirt mounds that seemed like they could have been dug up. We finally came around to the building, which was conveniently easy to enter. When we entered, we were greeted by dirty mattresses that seemed to have been placed there on purpose. We didn't talk to each other about how we felt because we didn't want to seem like wimps, probably. We went through the entire building, seeing many mattresses and old shoes that looked to have been people's? Yeah, of course. Okay, sorry. Why would you? Yeah. We found a shirt that looked like it belonged to a person. Let me check this chat. Yeah, T2E, they are doing their job. Yeah, dude. Yeah, when you're a small human, you have one responsibility. Just have as much fun as you can. So I agree. MCT says, I have 6 dogs and a cat and chickens. It's heaven when my house is silent and I can record. Nice. And Darkest Hour says, I always forget you have so many fur babies. Oh, yeah. Gangster chickens. MCT lives on a farm. Sounds awesome. All right. What a funny line. We found many shoes that looked like they have been people's. All right. I'm not complaining. I'm going to get through it. We went through the entire building, seeing many mattresses and old shoes. We got up to the top, and of course it had just gotten dark out, and we had a long walk back once we got out. We go back to the bottom of the building, and we lose our way. The only way out was walking over a plank over an abyss. But that isn't the bad part. We crawl out through a window and start walking along the road to get back to my car. 2 cops see us while they're driving around and come over to talk to us. You really shouldn't be going in there after dark, they said, and they let us go. We laughed it off and got back to the car. Little burpee, I'm sorry. We laughed it off and got back to the car. My friend called his cousin to tell him about what we did. He told us that MS-13 operates out of there and that we were lucky to be operates out of there. Operates. Again, dude, this is one of those nerdy things, man. Like the way you say a line, just, it matters. It matters. All right, I'll do it again. He told us that MS-13 operates out of there and that we're lucky to be alive. I look up Pilgrim State Murder, and sure as heck, I see that multiple teens have been murdered there and in the woods where we walked through initially. Cops had dug and searched the woods before to find. All right, cool. That was my bad. I just don't know how to read. Cops had dug and searched. Fuck, dude. There we go. This wall of text. The grammar is very good in this story. It's just the spacing is hard for me to keep track with. First world problems. Here we go. Cops had dug and searched the woods before to find missing teenagers, so I connected the dots between that and the mounds of dirt. Okay, this is officially an ASMR channel now. Because if I whisper, you can't hear me fuck up. Cops had dug and searched the woods before to find missing teenagers, so I connected the dots between that and the mounds of dirt that I saw before. I went to bed that night shaking about the thought that I could have been killed for entering their territory. If you want, you can look it up. It's Pilgrim State MS-13 Brentwood, or something like that. So, to MS-13, please, let's not meet. Okay. Well, I don't, so normally, I know I don't stream often, but when I do, like I just record the stories, and when I'm done recording, I say peace out, and then I just start editing like a madman. If it's cool with everybody here, I'm just going to leave the stream on. So if you want to jet now, if you're just here to hear me, if you're just here to hear me read stories, that part's over. But I'm going to leave the stream on in case anybody wants to chat, ask questions, or just say something. Feel free. But we're going to enter into chill mode while I change the music. And what else? I think that's it, dude. I want to thank everybody for hanging out while I read these 5 stories. I know it wasn't an intensely long stream, like I said. T2E says you rock, Derek. Thank you. Thank you. I don't take praise very well, so, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say, but other than thank you. So here we go. Where was I? Yeah, so that's the stream, babies, but I'm going to leave it on just to edit, and if I happen to catch somebody in the chat asking a question or saying something, I'll respond. I'll be around, but let me find some chill music to put on. Thanks, everybody. Brenda says, you're hard on yourself. Yeah, that's because I want to be perfect all the time, damn it. Take the praise, says Darkest Hour. I know. My go-tos are usually like awkward silence and just being like, okay, thanks, bye. Or I get like super big-headed and I'm just like, yeah, I know, I'm awesome, I'm the best, blah, blah, blah. Both of which are, you know, are bad in their own rights, but I don't know what the heck else to do, man. I'm gonna find some chill music. There we go. Mary says, I'm literally sourcing glitch stories for you as I listen. That's because you're amazing, Mary. Thank you. For those that don't know, I get a lot of help sourcing these stories from Reddit, because you can't just, I guess you can just get onto Reddit and just hit record and start reading, but that's not cool. You got to get permission from the people that wrote the stories, whether they're fiction or not. It's just best practice to make sure that they're cool with you reading their work, you know what I mean? Again, whether it's real or not, but Anyway, so that takes a long time. So Mary helps me out with that. Like I said in the last stream, she is the wizard behind the curtain of this channel. So thank you, Mary. Darkest Hour says it's good to be a little hard on yourself. Push yourself. Compete with yourself. It's healthy. Agreed. And then she says, but you also have to be able to recognize how awesome you are too. Yeah, stop that right now. T2E, just do not lock your children out of the house. Nah, I won't be doing that. Oh, Sean pops in. Hey, dude, welcome in. Stream's over. I just finished reading 5 allegedly true urban exploration stories. So now we're in chill mode is what I'm calling it. And I'm editing the stories right now. And I'm just making myself available for chat, dude. So if anybody's got like a question or something that they just want to say and I catch it, I'll respond to you. Yes, hello, Sean. Sean says, late as always. I'll listen later on, but I'm glad you're willing to kick it with us. I'm in the cop car. For sure, dude. No sweat, man. Hope you're having a safe night. We're just gonna be listening to like weirdly sexy music, I guess. That was an accident, but it's all good. Oh, by the way, Miss Amanda Jane herself, The Darkest Hour, she was in a Mr. Revenant video with Booze and Booze, I think, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, dude. I love all those guys. They're so cool. So if you want some hot, fresh, spooky stories right now, I think it's on Mr. Revenant's channel. If you haven't heard of him, you will like him. If you think I'm alright, you will love Mr. Revenant. He's on a whole nother level. Plus, his latest video has Amanda Jane and Booze and Booze in it, so that's a win-win-win, dude. In my last stream, I asked the chat, because there was a lot of people that actually listen to scary stories and not create them regularly. I asked them if it was helpful for them if the story included, you know, the blueprints to the house featured in the story. So, for example, if you're describing a hallway, you know, do you need to know how many doors are on the left side and how many doors are on the right side before you get to the bathroom? And which one of those doors is a closet? Like, and surprisingly, yeah, people were like, yeah, I like that. It makes me feel like I'm more immersed in the story. And I'm like, all right, cool. Because every now and then I'll get a story that includes all those insanely detailed details, and then I leave that out. I'm like, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The ghost is in the back bedroom. It doesn't matter how many bedrooms are between you and that one. It's just the ghost is in the last one. That was my thought, at least, but I guess I'm wrong. Sean says, I'll send you guys some cop scares one of these days. Oh, for sure, dude. Yeah, hit me up. If you've got multiple, we can throw all of them in one video. You know, as long as the length is there. And we can even get like multiple narrators to do each one. That'd be fun too. Amanda says, Sean, roger that, and yes, please. Niner. It's not a cop thing, but it's a ham radio thing. And if you guys are willing to share, you can all have them, and I'll give you creative rights to gussy up my horrible writing. Cool deal, man. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a damn plan, sir. Never really realized like how weird this hobby / job is until I'm in the editing process, just listening to myself laugh at myself for messing up words. Darkest Hour says, oh, I just love hearing cop / security / night shift stories. They never fail to be interesting and terrifying. True, man. True, man. I've read approximately 1.5 million stories so far, and like a lot of my favorite ones are like security / cop / night shift stories. And they are something else. I know there are probably some stories written that need narrated a little differently, and some editing probably needs done. No sweat, dude. Yeah. I can't speak for every other narrator, but I have an editor. So if I'm like crunched for time, and I need to like be able to blast through. I know this is a little bit contradictory, but instead of struggling through a poorly, a grammatically incorrect story, I will just send it to my editor, a person that I know who edits for me every now and then. That sounded so professional when I said it like that. And she'll just like rewrite it, like reformat it in a way that I can read fluidly, almost in one go. So if I come across an especially difficult story now, I'll add that to a list of stories, and then I'll just send her, 5 or 10 at a time, and she'll clean them up for me. So if that needs to be done, don't worry, dude. Like I said, I can't speak for every other narrator, but I do that myself, and if I need help, I have an editor do it for me. Darkest Hour says, I love editing stories, by the way. I'll even edit them for you, just so you have them. Okay, and then you have that offer right there. Amanda can do it for you. Amanda's especially good at that because she's one of the few narrators that I've ever spoken to that actually reads her stories before she hits record, and she does that so that she can deliver them, as impactfully as possible. And so she knows where to pull up. She knows where to put all the beats and dramatic pauses and stuff, and it shows in the final product. Like, her delivery is so amazing, dude, and it just feels natural, and it's because she puts in the extra work and she reads it before she records it. So kudos to her. So she's probably very used to editing and reformatting. Sean says, I write fairly well, but I know that narrations might need to make some changes just for narration. My writing might come across a little too much like a police report. Just the facts, sir. Just the facts. That's funny. Darkest Hour says, appreciate that, Derek. For sure, dude. It's true. Sean says, and that's about right, Derek. My writing isn't exactly great for flair, so I'd be okay with the narrator tweaking it. Cool. Dude, that's good to know, man. For sure. I would love to share some of your stories, man, if you'll have us. I know you mentioned sharing, so I don't want to keep all of them to myself. But tell you what, dude, if you feel like it, and if you accept this responsibility, you can hand pick your narrators, dude. and I'll see if I can get everybody in one video just for you, Sean, because I appreciate you. Alright, this music is way too seductive for editing scary stories too. This is silly. What the hell? Hopefully this mix is a little better. I have edited 2 out of the 5 stories, so chill mode is approximately 40% over. Exactly 40% over, I guess, not approximately. Math. Sean says, you, Amanda, you. Okay, so Amanda, Derek, Danny, Rev, and the list goes on. I'm subbed to you all. With the bell ring, I'd be honored to have any one of you tell my tales. Yeah, I like the way you think, Sean. Me too, man. I don't know if you have... So you mentioned 4 narrators. I don't know if you have 4 stories, but if you do, that's very possible. We can make that happen. That's one of the coolest things about like the horror narration community is that everybody's pretty much the shit, dude. Like, everybody's cool, supportive. Those are the only 2 adjectives that I can think of, but they're both good. Amanda Jane says, I'm going to close the old peepers now. Thanks for the entertainment and the chats. Great job as always, Derek. Thank you, Amanda Jane, for hanging out for as long as you did, man. I appreciate you. Might be a collab coming up with some cop stories. You'll be the first to hear about it. If you happen to be just joining the stream, thank you. I've already read 5 allegedly true urban exploration stories, and now the spooky part's over. We're in chill mode. I'm just editing, and I'm just hanging in the chat. So if anybody has a question or something they want to say, I'll see it, and we can chat for a minute. It's pretty low key. It's pretty low key. Judith says, "Hi guys." Sean, it amazes me how close your narrators all are and how closely you work with one another. Mutual respect is great, but aren't you all technically competitors? No. Short answer is no. We are not all competitors. At least that's not how I see it. I always have the mindset of if you think that, your creative field is a competition, then you're already automatically losing. You're in last place. That's just my vibe. I am rooting for everybody all the time. And what's the old saying? A rising tide raises all ships. I don't know if that's it exactly, but the sentiment is there. I hope you get it. Like if Mr. Revenant gets an extra 10,000 subscribers between now and next week, good on him. Like, how does that doesn't hurt me at all, dude. All that's going to do is, that's 10,000 more people that know that this even exists and that horror narration is a thing, and that they might actually have one of my videos pop up in their recommended page too. They might actually click on it. They might actually enjoy it. They might actually subscribe to me. So no, I don't see us as competitors. I see us as almost like a team, you know what I mean? That sounds super cheesy and like I'm in a PG-13 Disney movie, but that's just how I see it. Judith says, "I'm sort of a lurker." She says, "Hi, Sean." That's cool. Lurkers are cool. I'm one too. I'm actually lurking right now. I just happen to have a microphone in front of my teeth. That's a good question though, Sean. Aren't we all competitors? Nah, buddy. In another one of my lives, I run and operate a recording studio. And that's a little bit more competitive too, though, because if a band is going to pay you several hundred, several $1,000s to record something with them, for them, and you either can't or don't want to, then the studio down the road is going to make that several $100 or $1,000. But I mean, if your goal is just to have, I mean, I'm speaking as a record producer at this point, or as an engineer, if your goal is to have more high quality, enjoyable, listenable music coming out of your scene, out of your state, then, and if there's another studio down the road that does that, that's good for the whole scene, man. Because again, dude, it just circles back to that same mentality of a rising tide raises all ships. Because, what's the scenario? Say a touring band that's got a bit of a following, they end up going to the recording studio up the road because of, I don't know, maybe somebody recommended them or something, and they put out like a banger album, and that band they're probably friends with 4 other bands that play the same kind of music, you know what I mean? So all 4 of those bands might contact that recording studio, and well, he's booked up for the next 6 months. Sorry, but there's another studio down the road who's doing the same thing, you know what I mean? So it's not like it's leeching or anything, but it's all good, dude. Yeah, I don't have time to compete with anybody, and I don't have time to look at anybody else's stats and compare them to mine. That's just not what I'm here for, brother. Sean says, that's a great attitude. I never thought of it that way. I guess I kind of thought of it like prospecting. If there's one gold nugget out there, I want it, and the race is on. Yeah, that's shark mentality, which is good, and that's healthy to have to an extent. And you can kind of secretly have that attitude as well, even though you're playing on a team and you still want success for everybody. The Rock once said, and I feel, again, so cheesy quoting stuff like this, but like it's in my DNA at this point. He said, there's plenty of room on the top shelf. So I'll look at a channel like Swamp Dweller, Your Maker, Let's Read, and I'll go, man, they have 200,000, whatever. Joel's at 890 something thousand. I only know that because we chat sometimes, and I don't, like I said, I'm not spying on everybody, but like you see these other narrators that are like gonna hit 1 million by the end of the year, and you don't feel jealous or upset. You know what I mean? You feel happy because I just want everybody to win, dude. There's plenty of room on the top shelf. Judith says he's over 900K already? What? All right, now I'm spying. 905. Shoot, man, I gotta send him a little congrats. DM. Good for him, man. That's amazing, dude. Yeah, he'll be at 1 million before the end of the year for sure, dude. That's cool. Again, like, why would somebody else's success bum me out? You know? Sean says, I sometimes feel strange even talking about another narrator in someone's premiere because I'm never quite sure how that will be perceived, but I love that you are all fans of others' work. All right, that's a good point as well, Sean. Like, it's, I don't know, that'll come down to a case by case etiquette thing, I think, at least. If you're in somebody's premiere, the cool thing to do is to celebrate that person, you know what I mean? But the uncool thing to do would be like, man, you know, what's an example? Mr. Rev's cool, but have you guys heard of this other guy during a Mr. Rev premiere? You know what I mean? Obviously you're not doing that, but, and that's an extreme hyperbolic example, but yeah, you know, that's just a case by case thing, man. Yeah, I see what you mean about the editing. That's all good, dude. And you know what? I'm so used to like reading that like my brain just read over that. I didn't even know you made a mistake, man. So you're good. on the topic of uncool premiere etiquette. Like if one if one narrator pops into another narrator's stream or premiere or whatever and is like, hey, I gotta go because I'm about to go live, or my premiere is about to happen, that's usually perceived as very uncool. So it's just when you're in I guess when the narrator's in the room like you just celebrate that narrator. I don't know, I guess that's the only way I know how to put it. That makes sense. Sean says, yeah, that would be shockingly stupid. For sure. Okay, cool. So you and I were on the same page. We agree. That would be shockingly stupid. And again, that's why I use such an exaggerated example, just, to help get the point across. Excuse me. You get it. I've edited, and I'm losing my voice. How am I losing my voice already, dude? I've edited 3.5 stories out of the 5, and I hope the people that are still chilling are either asleep or enjoying the chill mode that we've entered. Oh, hold on. I missed something that Judith said. She said, and I'm listening to you because you did a collab with Joel and I love your voice. Dude. Yeah, dude. So for sure, like, for some reason I got the balls to hit up Let's Read very early on in my channel. I had a couple hundred subscribers and I was like, hey man, big fan. Let me know if I can like collab with you. And he said yes. So yeah, it's in my best interest to have other people in my genre succeed, because then, they'll usually bring up everybody else with them. Or, another scenario is that in some parallel universe, my channel is the one that takes off and I can bring others up with me. I'd love to do that. And in my opening sentence, all right. So check this out. That was something that I did on accident. I don't think I set out to create like an intro or a catchphrase, but I just said it in my first couple of videos. Not my very first one, but my second and third one. It found its way in there, and eventually people just started quoting it at me. So I made it a regular thing. Now it's in every video. Good night, Judith. Judith, I'm glad you can hang for as long as you did. Thank you. If you smell what the rock is cooking. My wife, she's got this, for some reason she's kept this like the Rock action figure since she was a kid. And it's one of those like just a little 6-inch figure that has like a voice thing in it. So if you bend his arm, he'll say, you're breaking the Rock's arm. And if you bend his leg, he says the same thing. You're breaking the Rock's leg. It just knows. So anytime she's like, I don't know, like she's like, for example, we're sitting on the couch and she like sits on my leg on accident because she doesn't see that I'm under the covers, and she just sits right on my knee. I go, you're breaking the Rock's knee, and it's just, I think it's hilarious, but she's probably tired of it by now. I want to either join or start a narrator group chat where it's just like a mastermind. You know what I mean? Where we just like run experiments and test ideas and just talk about like what worked and what didn't work for our channel. I think that'd be cool. Sean, if you're still on, buddy, do you have like a police group chat where it's like, hey man, like I busted a guy for this, and then it's like a kudos thing where it's like, man, it took me, I don't know, dude, fucking like 3 hours to chase this guy down, but I got him. Do you have a place to go where you can like talk about all the cool stuff and all the successes that you get with your peers? Because that'd be sweet. Lady says, get back to reading. Hey, Derek. Lady, for your information, and you should know this by now because you are in the future, stream's over, dude. I read 5 allegedly true. One of them was a little bit fantastical, but 5 allegedly true urban exploration stories. And now I'm editing them, but it's chill mode. So narrations are done for the stream. And I'm just putting on some chill music while I edit, man. And if anybody wants to ask a question or like say anything in the chat, I'll see it and I'll interact. But it's low key right now. Hey, lady, if you want to tell me this later on in private, you can. But let me just ask: is there like a group chat of narrators that are just super focused on like success and like sharing ideas and sharing what worked and what didn't work? Because I want to be in that. Sean says, not really. My teammates and I will come together, but that's about it. And it's usually in person, but I'm sure. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good point. I forget that, like, you know, you're part of a squad probably, and you have coworkers in your immediate vicinity, but, yeah, duh. Okay. I don't know why I didn't think about that, but when you're an online creator, it's all digital. So lady says the stream is only over when I say it's over. In all seriousness, good work. Thanks, lady. Time goddess. Lady is the time goddess. Add that to her Twitter bio. 3,000-year-old demon and time goddess that lives 6 days in the future. Lady says, if you find that group, I would love to join too. Maybe I'll just make it, man. Maybe I'll just make it myself. I feel like Bill O'Reilly. Fuck it, I'll do it live. I'll just do it live. Sean says, and I don't really expect accolades for, say, a good arrest. It's just a job. Okay, good point. Lady, I hope you had a good recording day. Was that today for you? Oh, lady, if you're still on, Sean asked a question earlier. He said he loves the community aspect of all the horror narrators that he's come into contact with, and he loves how, like, you know, we're all like, what the fuck is the word? Like, supportive and stuff, but he asked the question, aren't we all technically competition? And, lady, assuming you didn't hear my answer, do you have a quick reply that you want to put in the chat? Lady says, yep, I only got one story done, and it's short, but better than nothing. Yeah, dude. Hey, listen, done is better than perfect. I waited a long time to start a YouTube channel, and I realized that if I had just started so much sooner, like, I could have gotten further faster. You know what I mean? Like, I was waiting for, like, to get a new mic or a new camera, or waiting for just whatever, fill in the blank thing that I could just distract myself with until I actually hit publish. But yeah, shame on me. Sean says, my reward is probably the same as yours. Go home, kick off the boots, grab a beverage, and light a cigar. Reward enough. Amen to that, brother. My version of that is taking off my orange Crocs and going upstairs and joining the family in bed. After a hard shift of recording scary stories. Yeah. It doesn't even compare. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make it seem like it does. It definitely doesn't. Alright, lady says, I mean, you could see people as rivals, or you can see them as friends, too. She says, I collab a lot with different people, and their voices add to my videos and stories. It's a good thing to not have a monopoly. For sure. Yeah, that's not too far off from what I said. I've gotten, I don't know, dude, in this digital age where it's just easy to cut people off, I've gotten pretty good at, like, I don't have rivals. Like, I'll just use the word that lady used. Like, I don't have rivals. I just, if I see somebody online just being dumb, like, that's a block. They don't exist to me anymore. I never have to talk to them. I never have to see them. If they ever try to talk to me, they don't get the luxury. They don't have access to me anymore. So, and it's super rare. It's super rare. So if you get a block from Derek, you did something pretty stupid. Sean says, I've seen you in Derek's chat. Lady, didn't know you were a narrator. I'll have to give you a listen. Lady has one of the coolest voices ever. Dude, it's super friendly. It's very, like, inviting. It's super easy to listen to. And she's got one hell of an accent, man. I won't tell you where it's from. I'll let you find that out yourself. But yeah, dude. Whenever you're ready. I've got probably 10 more minutes of editing, and then chill mode is officially going to end. And then I'll go to bed for the night. But that's where I'm at. Yeah, lady says, sometimes you just don't vibe with people too. She says, same, I rarely block. Yeah, dude. And it's not something that I celebrate or like add to the board. You know what I mean? I'm not like, I blocked another one today, guys. It's just, it's a sad thing. Sean says, oh, that's been spoiled. Australia, right? No, Zimbabwe, actually. She's Zimbabwean. Kidding. Yeah, dude, she's super Australian. Talking about how she eats macas for brekkie. It's ridiculous. Yeah, mate. Getting some macas for brekkie. Don't hash brown shame me. I promise I'm not hash brown shaming anybody, man. You like what you like, and that's perfectly fine. I just happen to eat McDonald's for breakfast. That's all. Sean says, I've always wanted to visit Australia, but I'm not too much for heat, and I'm a bit of an arachnophobia. I hear you have spiders that are big enough to ride. Oh, jeez, yeah, dude. Lady says, Australia isn't that bad with spiders, and it can get cold here, too. It snows there. Lady's lying. She's don't believe those words. Lady, funny story, but I was cruising on my phone, and my oldest was, who knows how to read, was sitting next to me, probably just looking at my phone as I was cruising, and I scrolled past one of your posts, and he was like, what he goes, Daddy, what's Lady's spookeria? And I was like, dude, I don't know. which is cool, because in my head it's always been Lady Spookeria. I know it's Spookaria, but I can't not say it as Spookeria. Judith says, I lived in Australia for 2 years, and she's not lying. I've been to the snow in Australia, too. Snow in Australia is so rare that people say that they've been to the snow. I've been there. I've been where it snows, man. It's true. It's like it's a rare occurrence, like when you go see Stonehenge. I've seen Stonehenge. I've seen it. I've been there once. It's there. Like, it snowed in Australia once. I was there. I'm only having fun. Sean says, I'm hanging in a park and there's a whistle pig rummaging about. Oh, yeah, I'll have to bring him some veggies. He's kind of awesome. For sure, dude. Turn that little dude into a friend and feed him. No, Derek, I've lived there for 5. Oh, hey now. Okay. Since you lived there for 5 years, I believe you. I was a little bit sus when I thought you only lived there for 2 years, but now that I know it's 5, I have full faith in Judith. Judith says, and now I really need to get going. It's 8:30 a.m. and I'm running late. Holy crap, dude. Judith lives in the future as well, man. Don't be late, Judith. Have a great day. Eat some macas for brekkie for me. I'm kind of wondering what Judith does on the night shift, and if she has any creepy stories. I bet she does. You know, Sean, to answer your question, I don't know, dude. The only thing I know about Miss Judith is that she's lived in Australia for 5 years, not 2 years, and she only knows about me because she heard me on Let's Read. And that's not to say that she's not also a narrator, but I don't have all the facts to include in my report. I'm sorry. Ah, well, there's our answer. She does not work night shift, and she paints houses. Oh, dude, I respect the crap out of that, man. I've purchased 2 homes in my life, and I've painted just about every room and I painted a lot of bedrooms, and that sucks, dude. That's no fun. My least favorite part is all the prep work, is putting all the paint on and laying the drop cloth, and that part right there sucks. The painting is not so bad if you got a big old roller and you just blast that on there a few coats, but whoo, yeah, dude, the prep work, the paint is my least favorite part. It's fun peeling it off, though. Unique, New York. Lady, if you're still here, I just want to take a second to say thank you, man. You've been around for a while, and your channel was always and still is very fun to listen to. I love all your narrations. You are an inspiration. It's because I was able to catch a lot of your live streams and just see the energy that you had in your live streams that made me want to start live streaming myself. And I'm very glad that I was able to catch a lot of yours so that I could do this now. So thank you. Sean says, I just like demo. Let me swing a sledgehammer. Yes, dude. Breaking things is very therapeutic. You've heard of slam rooms? Rage rooms. Yeah, rage rooms. Where you go in and you just like pay the guy like a few bucks and you just break things for 30 minutes, dude. It's crazy. You get like a hazmat suit and some goggles and some gloves, a helmet, and a sledgehammer. Lady says, I still need to collab with you sometime, Derek. Yeah, well, I wasn't going to say anything, but one of us is waiting for the other one to write 2 stories. And one of us already has a thumbnail ready to go. And one of us is me. It's me. I have a thumbnail that's ready to go. Whoever thought of the Rage Room is a genius. Making a lot of money, that person is. And helping a lot of people too, which is good. Calling me out on stream. No, well, yeah, I guess I did. I did, didn't I? Yeah. Sorry, not sorry. I still love you, though. She says, TBF, I started writing a story and it branched into 4 other stories. Nice, dude. That's keeping you busy. But do me a solid. Go back to the original one and then send it to me. So we can officially collab. It's weird how often we pass each other, but we haven't actually worked together yet, I don't think. As I'm finishing up editing this last little bit here, speaking of editing, one of the hardest lines I ever had to read for a story was written by another narrator. He goes by As the Raven Dreams, and he's got some stories on his website that are all, free to read. And he wrote a line in there that I'm positive was just to mess with whatever narrator decided to read that story. And the line was, oh, Sean says, cardiac arrest. See you guys later. See you, buddy. Be safe. Good luck. I will probably be gone when you come back. One of the lines was, this should surely be the solution to my socialization issues. And I got it right just then, but it took me approximately 39 takes to get it right when I was actually recording it. Yeah, the Burb. The Burb man. The quiet Birdman. I wish he was more, vocal on his streams and stuff. But I suppose if I wanted to listen to his voice, I can just listen to some stories. So there's that. This should surely be the solution to all of my socialization issues. Yeah, dude. For real, man. I even like DM'd him as I was reading that line, like cursing him out. Lady, I do want to hop on one of your streams. I just pretty much can only do it at this time of the day. You know what I mean? Full-time job, little family, some other nonsense. You understand. How dare you not cater your life around my stream? I know, I always feel so bad. But just know, lady, that I always hope that you eat a whole banana before you stream so you don't get hungry. And don't share the communal sponge. Even though it's communal, I know. Just don't. Hold up, you say a late night stream on your channel? Isn't that a morning stream for me? I don't know how time zones work, dude. Help me out. It's 12:41 here. Yeah, oh yeah. Not oh no. It's all Kool-Aid Man all the time here. It's oh yeah. Not the sponge. It's 4:41 here. Okay, so hold on. "13, 14, 15. So you are 16 hours ahead of me. You know what? Do not make me do math right now. One day we will stream together and it'll be awesome. But today is not that day, and I'm full of sorrow for that. I hope you know. Are you ever free at like 2:30 your time? Like literally 2 hours ago when I started my own stream? You ever free at 2:30 in the middle of the day? "23, 22, 32, 42, 23, 41. Yep, I will need a snack before it, though, because my energy levels drop around that time. Oh, you know, if your energy levels drop around that time, then that probably means you come down to, like, normal person energy levels. I say that with love and respect, I promise. Dude. All right, homies. That's the whole stream. I feel like half of it was actually recording and the other half was just chill narration, like not narration, but chill editing, lo-fi vibes, and I'm perfectly fine with that. This video will come out Thursday afternoon, but it'll go up on the Patreon tomorrow afternoon. So if you want that early access, the Patreon link will be in the description somewhere probably. All right. Lady says, what's that supposed to mean? Do you call yourself Team Dumpster Fire because you think you're boring? I don't think so. Do you have chaotic streams because you have no energy? No, I don't think so. Again, with love and respect, lady, okay? Alright. That's the stream, dudes. Thank you for joining me. Good night.